Janey here. Welcome back to my garden. Okay, first thing this morning, bear with me today. I am on a new camera. I'm trying out a new camera and I'm trying out a new mic, and it's got a little gimbal thing. It's way more fancy than what I usually film on, which is my phone. And so I'm not too good at it yet. So just bear with me if the filming is a little off today. It's because I am trying to work on a new camera. That is one thing when I started this YouTube channel, I did not even think about all the technology that I would have to learn. I thought it would just be so easy. I would use my phone, but since I film so much and I use so much audio, it's become something that I actually have to start thinking about. So bear with me today. So this morning we are out, sorry. This morning we are out in the center island today. Our goal is to get a tree planted, and it is our biggest tree. Jason is trying to get it right now. I really should go over and help him, but I want to film this real quick first. So we're gonna get a tree planted in the center island. While Jason was taking the girls to school, I decided I did want to plant some of my perennials, which are right here. I planted 3 different varieties. I planted Russian sage. I did 5 of them right here, right around the crepe myrtle, which is right there. And then I did 3 of a Shasta daisy. I love Shasta daisies. They do so well for us. This is a really interesting one. This one is called spun silk. Look at that flower. Isn't that interesting? It's just, man, I don't know. It's just the most interesting Shasta daisy bloom, and I think it's really fun. So I got 3 of those there. And then the plant that probably performed the absolute best in my garden this past year is this pink perfusion salvia. It is such a fantastic, fantastic plant. I cannot believe how long it bloomed for. I had a grouping of mine, or have a grouping of mine right here. It's kind of coming to the end of its life cycle right now, but you can see there's still a little bit of color on it. And it was the first thing to start blooming in the garden this year, and it's still going strong, and it hasn't stopped at all. It's just been such a great plant. So I wanted to repeat it. I wanted to repeat groupings of it. So coming over here into the center island, you can see the pathway that we're going to put in. We're going to do decomposed granite with metal edging. And on either side, I wanted to repeat the pink perfusion. So I have a grouping of it that I just planted right here. I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them right here, which I think will be really pretty, especially with the Russian sage and the spun silk Shasta daisies. And then on the other side, I'm trying really hard to repeat more, repeat more plantings. I definitely have the tendency to do a one and done plant because I want all the plants in my garden. So by advice from Michael Glassman, which he is a landscape designer and he's fabulous, he's told me I need to repeat more in my garden, which I completely agree with him. He's absolutely right. I'm one of those people that planted my garden based on like what I want now and emotion and things like that, and just things that I find are beautiful. And I don't always think about the final end product, and I know I need to start thinking about it more. So I'm working on it. So my 3rd grouping of pink perfusion salvia is right here. It's another 5 on this other side. I'm not exactly sure if I want it this close or if I want it a little further down. I think I'm going to wait planting that one for a little bit. But I knew I wanted this kind of grouping right here because I think it's so pretty, and it's definitely going to step up. The pink perfusion's the shortest, the Shasta daisies are a little taller, and then the Russian sage behind that is even taller. Okay, here comes Jason with the tree. Do you need help? So Jason is bringing out our weeping blue atlas serpentine cedar. It's called a serpentine cedar because it is grown, you can see, kind of twisted like that. That's what makes it a serpentine plant. It is so beautiful. It is so massive. It is one of our big specimen trees, and I'm really nervous about planting it. Yeah, I think you should go backwards.
Just hold it so it doesn't fall.
Yeah. Okay, go. Okay, and then we're gonna go right up there. Got it? Ooh. Good job. Right there. Stop.
Yeah, it's gonna sit. Or it's and then go down. Ready?
Yeah. Okay, got it.
The best part.
Okay, this thing is a beast. So it's not our tallest tree, but it's definitely our bulkiest tree, I would say. So you can see it a little bit better here. You can see that the trunk has been trained to go back and forth kind of like a snake, thus serpentine cedar. These guys are slow growers. They only grow about 1 foot to 2 feet a year. So you can see with the trunk going back and forth, I mean, this thing is probably 8 or 9 years old already, and it's just so beautiful. It's a piece of art, and I'm so excited to have one in our garden. Now, I am super worried because look at how big the can is. I mean, this is just absolutely huge, absolutely huge. Luckily, we have about 6 to 12 inches of compost here, and then I am also going to be planting it a little bit above grade because these guys, the most important thing for these Blue Atlas cedars is drainage. And so to help with drainage, when you plant a tree a little bit higher up, you know, the root ball a couple inches above the ground, it's going to help with the drainage a lot. So I definitely want to do that right here for sure. So we're going to get started with the auger. We'll start with the auger and then scoop everything out with the shovel. You know, basic tree planting on steroids, basically. Well, as you can see, I changed because I was completely covered with compost. I was like crawling around in the compost while we were planting the cedar. I'm tired. That was hard to plant and hard to move the rocks, but I'm glad I got it done because it looks gorgeous. Okay, so here's everything we got done today. First off was the perennials, and they're going to be beautiful. In the back, we have denim and lace, which is actually part of my Best for the West collection, which means does really good in hot, dry environments. I have them all over my garden, and I'm loving them. They're going to get about 32 inches tall, so they're going to be my tall ones. A little bit ahead of that, I think I already told you guys this, sorry, is my spun silk amazing daisies. They'll get about 2 feet tall, and then the shortest that's going to get a little bit over 1 foot tall is this pink perfusion salvia right here. So I think that that's gonna look really pretty. I do need to get some plants with darker foliage to mix in with that. I don't have anything right now, so I'll be looking around. Now, I didn't end up planting these yet because I just couldn't make a decision on whether I want them there, whether I want them further down the line. I just want to think about it a little bit. So I'll probably plant those tomorrow. I'm just going to leave them right there for now. They're all the same plants: the pink profusion, spun silk, Shasta daisy, and Russian sage, denim and lace Russian sage. So it will just be a repeat, and it'll be around the little gem magnolia, which does have the dark foliage. So I think that will look really pretty. Now, coming over here, look at how cool this looks. Look at how cool that is. I love it. So the Weeping Atlas cedar will get probably about 10 feet tall and wide, but it'll take a while to get to that height. So it's pretty much going to stay this size for the next couple years. You can see we've got it on a slow hose right now. And you can see that we did plant it above grade. So it's a couple inches higher, and then we kind of just created a little slope with the rest of the soil. And again, I did that on purpose because I want this plant to have really, really good drainage. And just bumping up the root ball a little bit is just going to ensure that its roots aren't sitting in water, which is really important. Now, these two rocks right here, I don't know what you call them, like volcano rocks or something. They were here when we moved in, and they did have these little like bolts and platforms on the top. There must have been some type of sculpture or something. So Jason came out here and he grinded those down. I'll probably try and cover it with something, I don't know, or just not even worry about it. These rocks, they're heavy, but they're not as heavy as you think they would be. So you saw Jason and I moving it from over there to over here. It was still really tough, but we were able to do it. And I just really like it because I think it just gives, I don't know, it just makes this whole area vignette look like it's meant to be there. And this is the type of stuff that I'm going to be doing in this garden bed, is adding rocks and stuff like this. Hopefully my parents aren't watching, because at their house they have a whole bunch of really beautiful rocks that I'm going to steal. They're not even using them, so who cares? But I definitely want to get some more beautiful rocks like this, just so that I can decorate this whole area. Because I really think adding rocks to a garden, especially a really flat garden like I have, just gives it some life and makes it look really, really pretty. So I love this planting we did. I think it looks so beautiful, and it makes me really excited to get started on the center island. A comment that I get a lot when I start planting things before we have the pathways or before we have the dry creek bed is, a lot of people say, don't you start with pathways first and your hardscape first and then you start planting? Yes, technically, but I have all these plants sitting there in their cans and I want to get them in the ground so that they can root in over the winter. So that is why we're planting right now. A little bit out of order, but once it's too late to plant, like it gets cold and rainy, that's when I want to put in all the hardscape, right? Because then we won't be planting at that time. I hope that makes sense. I am so focused on this video right now and the audio, and I really hope it's working out. I'm going to go inside and I'm going to edit. And if you see this, it worked out. So everybody cross your fingers for me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.